Let's turn to Ohio for a minute. The state's Republican governor there, Mike DeWine, speaking out against the false claims that have turned the town of Springfield kind of upside down here. DeWine, here it is, writes an essay today for the New York Times. In it, he says, as a supporter of former President Donald Trump and Senator JD Vance, I'm saddened by how they and others continue to repeat claims that lack evidence and disparage the legal migrants living in Springfield, Republican governor of Ohio. Garry Pierre-Pierre is with us now. Now, Gary's been on the show before. He's a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist, he's founder and publisher of the Haitian Times. I mentioned this when I was kind of teasing the story. The newspaper has received threats. It's been targeted. I want to ask you what happened. First, though, quick reaction to the Republican governor of Ohio, Mike DeWine, and what he said, and then I'll ask you about what happened at the Haitian Times. What did you think of that, DeWine?
First, thanks for having me, Connell. Well, it's really refreshing. It's good to see that Governor DeWine is speaking out, and unfortunately, not too many other Republican elected officials have done so. I must add that Mike DeWine has a long history with Haiti. He supports churches there. He's been to Haiti many times, so he's quite familiar with us. So again, I applaud his statement in the New York Times, his op-ed.
Yep, he and his wife have done a lot of work. They've been to Haiti multiple times. I think he said 30 times, something like that. But yes. I did think that was interesting when I was reading it this morning. Okay, the Haitian Times is your newspaper. There was what they call a swatting incident, right? Tell us what happened.
Well, we were in Springfield to try to do some reporting and have a town hall conversation with the community, because we didn't just want to come in, get a few quotes, and then leave. We just wanted to talk to as many people as we could. And in the process, the city officials told us that the place is becoming too dangerous, bomb threats all the time, and that they couldn't guarantee our safety. So we end up doing this convening online. We live stream it on Facebook, and then 2 days later, both our editor and a woman who was in a panel with us received, they were swatted. What that means is that the police gets a call from someone that a murder had happened at your location, and then they come, they respond, and so that's what happened. Because our editor, she was at home, thinking it was a delivery person when the doorbell rang, and then the house was surrounded by police. So
what do you think the idea was to be, you know, hey, we know where you live kind of thing, the message that they were trying to send, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Man, how are they doing? Were they shaken up by it, or?
Well, yeah, still. I mean, we had to get some security cameras. We are talking to NYPD about providing some security for her. And we've taken measures to secure emails and our site.
Still covering the story, though? It's hard to do it, like you said.
Absolutely.
In person.
No. We're not going to back down. We're not going to stop. This is so important of a story. You know, my parents came to America. I was a child because we were fleeing fascism and dictatorship. We love America. I love America. America has given me a lot. I have given a lot to America, and this is my job. I'm going to do my job.
You know, the people there that are in question are there legally, right? What do you make of some of these comments? Like, you know, JD Vance saying I guess his point, he was trying to say something like, well, the reason that they're there legally I don't agree with, so I'm still going to say they're illegal. But did you see that? He was still saying they're illegal.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I was joking with a friend. I said, you know what, Yale should just really rescind that diploma, because that's not the conversation, the talk of an attorney who went to, of all places, Yale University, to be repeating such things. It's really unfortunate and sad.
One more comment from Vance. Let me play you a clip before we let you go, Garry. This was what JD Vance said recently about all this.
First thing that they do is they will flood a small town or a big city with thousands of migrants who shouldn't be there in the first place. And the second thing they'll do is they'll say, you are a racist if you dare complain about it. Very often, the people who have suffered the most from Kamala Harris's open borders are people of Latino descent, or they're Black Americans whose family has been in this country for 9 or 10 generations.
Did you just say that kind of thing, Garry?
Very divisive, and it's untrue.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.